And so this new Wiccan series is kind of interesting. I wasn't really planning to make a video on it, but I felt like talking about the first chapter. So, after Imperial, Wiccan and Hulkling fall down to Earth, they're damaged, injured. Wiccan's magic ain't working. Hulkling is all injured, so Wiccan builds like a little sled and he's carrying him around. And Hulkling's like, when the hell did you discover to do all this pitching a tent and doing and building all this? I ain't never seen you do that in your life before. And he's like, oh yeah, Kate taught me, I used to go camping with her when you were up in space. Explain the story, like how one time Kate sprained her ankle in camping and she said, they had no power rules. So he's like, she basically forced me to make a sled and carry her as a learning moment. And this man, he's like, sometimes we don't talk about how psychotic Kate is, but that's why we love Kate around here. Actually, hold on, that sounds kind of crazy out of context, but like, so they continue. They find a little village that's being attacked by, some little monster. So they go and they fight it, but they get injured. They save a little girl, and her dad's a doctor. So he goes, he takes in Hulkling. Wiccan's like, if you ever operated on an alien before? And he's like, well, nope, but it's first time for everything, boy. So, he goes, they take in Hulkling, and he starts patching him up. Obviously, he can't patch him up at full health because he doesn't have the equipment and he's an alien. But he tells them, they don't have any phones because their village is like, one of those rural places, one of those places that don't believe in tech, and that the only phones would be like hundreds of miles away and take days to get to, so they're cut off from communication from many other heroes. But he's like, that monster was like an elemental of the forest, and Wiccan's like, aren't forest elementals supposed to be good and not hostile? And he's like, yeah, but there's this witch that, is doing something, and whenever people go near her, they go missing. So, she's dangerous. And Wiccan asks about her. So they go towards after the witch. And, as they go in, the guy also told them to, not listen to the fox. Interestingly enough, a fox. But yeah, so, they go in and they get attacked. They see this fox. They go in the house. The door shuts. This little monster comes and starts smacking them around. Basically, they get attacked and this what, and they get captured. Wiccan gets decapitated, but the witch has magic to, have his head animated. So she's basically telling him how he's cut off from magic because he was in space and he has elemental magic, and the elemental magic of Earth cut him off since he was cut off from it in space and is seen as abandoned. And she's like, I used to be an elemental, but I'm not strong now. But things are about to happen, and we need you to, lock in basically. So as they're doing this, back and forth, him talking about why should I trust you, and she's like, well, I'm the only way to your power. So trying to take him to the Witch's Road so he can get his elemental juice back. And then at the end of the chapter, her house starts walking, and he's like, who actually are you? And she's like, oh yeah, that's I'm the Baba Yaga. So we get to see. So Wiccan run around the Baba Yaga. So man, that's interesting. All right.